How's it going, Sam?
Hey, Connor, how are you doing? I'm great.
Doing great. Doing well.
1 week closer to football season, ready to roll. I love it.
That's right. I actually saw the on my way to work, so I walked past the outdoors field that the Badgers use for practice, and I saw them.
Right by ECS.
Yeah.
Not ECS.
ECB.
What's that building? Yeah, that one.
Yeah, and they were just doing some lineman drills.
Did you go up in the parking garage and watch?
No, they don't even have the gate like draped up yet, so I can just watch from the gate.
Oh, so you go out there and hey, come on, low man wins.
Yeah,
let's go.
Really, I from my new office view, I can look out my window and I can see the field.
Oh hell yeah!
So that's kind of cool.
You just like sit up there with a pair of binoculars and like and a notepad and just start drawing up plays and
start trying to sell this information to other teams.
There you go. Well, even better would be like, figure out what they're doing down there, and then just have an email draft open to pchrist@wisc.edu, and be like, Paul, hey Paul, it's me, Connor. It looks like you were running some Spider 2Y banana out there. I really think, I was watching some film of South New Mexico State, who you're playing in week 1. And man, I really think if you, instead of running the fullback in the flat, if you continue to vamp somehow and just send him some plays. I drew this up and I was playing some Madden the other night and I drew this up and created a play and it really seemed to work.
Send these on like a weekly basis.
Yeah.
Hi guys, we have to stop practicing outside because there's this guy that keeps sending me emails and I don't know where he's watching us from.
He could be any one of us. Do you think that's actually his email? You should just do that, but just like every week try a different email, just like pchrist@wisc.edu, pchrist1. Figure out what his middle name is and first initial, middle initial.
I'm sure it's up somewhere in the directory. It has to be.
Yeah.
Like, you can email fucking Barry Alvarez if you really wanted to.
balvarez@wisc.edu.
I'm pretty sure it's something like that. It's not like that hard to.
gguard@wisc.edu. Yeah.
Paul Christ. Yeah, I think it's pjc@athletics.wisc.edu.
Oh, the athletics.wisc.edu. Wait, do you have an engr.wisc.edu email?
No, it's just @wisc.edu.
Ah.
They don't do the ENGR ones anymore.
Yeah, one university, one mission.
Correct. One sound.
One band, one sound. Yeah. But athletics get their own prefix. Yeah,
exactly.
Prefix.
They're their own entity. Makes sense. So anyway, getting into the show material here. So the first thing that I have up here is this crazy story that I came across on Reddit, and let me just sort of explain what. Yeah,
walk me through this here. This is a lot to digest.
This is pretty funny. So at the end of the day, pretty much what it is the Cincinnati Bengals. They kind of like, you know what happened with like the Milwaukee Bucks stadium? How for a while there was a lot of lobbying to get taxpayers to pay for the stadium, the new one, Pfizer Forum.
Did they not pay for it? Is there no tax money? I thought there was taxpayer money that went to that.
There is, yes.
Okay.
It passed.
Well, so they tried and tried successfully.
Yeah, it was a big deal because the Bucks sucked when they were doing this whole thing, and
then they got good once they opened it. So
yeah, and so
it all worked out.
I've actually read there was a ton of information in this thread about this whole philosophy with building a stadium, and they were like, oh, well, it worked out because Milwaukee was really good this year. And somebody was like, well, actually, linked to this article, this study shows that it's actually more of a reallocation of entertainment funds in the local economy rather than generating any new sort of revenue. And it was like, oh, that's interesting.
That is interesting.
That makes sense.
Instead of spending money at X, they're spending it at Y, so they're just moving around in a different place.
Correct. Yeah. You're just more likely to go to something else in the area because they're good now. But I mean, you would just go to another thing as a person.
I see.
Like maybe, for example, I would go to this Brewers game because they're also pretty good, but the Bucks are terrible.
Yeah. Okay. So that's based on consumers, their disposable income being kind of fixed, and it's just all about how they move that money around. It's a fixed amount, or that's probably a way oversimplification of it, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, there's more to it, I guess, than just what I said as like the baseline conclusion, but in principle, that was kind of it.
Economists. We're not economists here.
No, not at all. Not one bit. So not going to try to muddy the waters and make myself sound like I know what I'm talking about here. But anyway, so getting into the Cincinnati Bengals thing, so they had a similar agreement where taxpayers agreed to assist building this stadium, this Paul Brown Stadium, whatever the fuck it's called. I don't know. But in any case, they're pretty upset about it because with the revised agreement that Hamilton County, which is where the stadium is located in Cincinnati, the revised agreement has the taxpayers, they've already spent $920 million on this stadium, and it's expected now to exceed $1 billion by the time these revisions are passed. So, rightfully kind of so, and this is a whole, separate argument to be had with like whether or not taxpayers should be paying for these privately owned stadiums or not. It's just a whole can of worms that has a lot of different sides to it. In any case, though, they're upset because the Cincinnati Bengals are not very good. So you kind of can expect something like that to happen where the public's like, well, God damn it, I'm wasting all my money paying taxes for this fucking stadium for these goddamn Bengals to just be ass. Like, that sounds like a thing that a person would say. So anytime you tell somebody that their taxes are being raised, you can probably expect them to be a little upset about it. So anyway, in order to remedy the situation, I think it was something like the Cincinnati Enquirer or something requested a public records release to be like a request on what's what I'm looking for, a public records release request from Hamilton County, because the transactions and correspondence between Hamilton County and the Cincinnati Bengals should be a public records issue. So what happened? So this is where things get kind of funny. So they released a document, and it was 275 pages of just redacted material. Like, it was completely blacked out.
So it wasn't just names redacted; it was every piece of text,
yeah,
every word, every letter.
The entire thing was pretty much blacked out. And so what they used, the excuse that they used was, well, they can redact it because their lawyers were on these communications. So under the attorney-client privilege, they don't have to disclose what their communications were about in order to reserve their rights to privacy in these matters. And this is funny because all they did was, on all of their correspondence, they just CC'd their lawyer on it.
Well, there you go.
And then said that, well, he's on the email, so I don't have to show you it. And so
client privilege.
Yeah, exactly. So I think this is expected to be appealed, and I think it will actually. I think the article did say that they're probably going to force them to release the materials because they decided that this wasn't like, just because you carbon copied them on the emails doesn't mean that you can not disclose these things to the public, because the material in these emails isn't necessarily pertaining to attorney-client like matters.
Well, I was just going to say, like, well, that's a pretty cool hack there. If I just CC on any email I ever send, if I just CC my lawyer, like, I'm making it sound like I have a lawyer. I don't have a lawyer.
Yeah.
But if I were to, then I could get away with saying anything I want.
Kinda. I mean, you wouldn't have to disclose it.
But, well, I guess
it turns out that hack isn't a real one. Turns out that loophole has already been closed.
Well, that's probably a good thing.
Yeah. It reminded me, though, of a story that I was reading. I was like, man, where the fuck have I heard this before? Like, I have heard of somebody doing something like this in some situation. And I realized that in the wake of the Wisconsin governor's election, I read an article about Scott Walker. It was when he was dissolving a government labor, some branch of something. I don't remember what it even fucking was, but it was a guy who was working for this governmental agency, and he wrote a memoir about how in the process of doing this, Scott Walker, instead of sending emails about this, whatever he was doing, he would physically send aides across the street to correspond with whatever it was that he was trying to do, because you can't have like they had to house like their campaign stuff outside of the Capitol and all that, because you can't have that in the Capitol building. And I'm sure that this initiative was under the same umbrella as that. And so in order to communicate about this, he would force people to send their little pages across the street to communicate things vocally or verbally, in order to avoid, like, if somebody requested a public records release of emails pertaining to this, like, he could, and he wouldn't have to disclose anything that would necessarily damn him, because all of these communications were just this medieval court style where they would send
messenger pigeons.
Exactly, like literally send a messenger to spread the good word. And I was like, this is hilarious.
Is that illegal?
I don't think so. I don't think it is. It's just one of those loopholes. I don't think people look at that very kindly. Like, people won't. People, when they find out about that stuff, will probably be like, well, it's probably not good that he doesn't want us to know what he's doing. So,
yeah, the optics aren't good, but I don't know. What do you do?
Right. Exactly.
So there you go. Some food for thought for the folks down in Hamilton County, huh?
Yeah.
Well, that's an interesting thing. The whole using public tax dollars for stadiums is that's a thing, isn't it?
Right, exactly. That's what I was saying. It's like, man, this is like a whole, and that's
a whole show.
It gets into it really gets into like the economics of it, and it's like, man, I don't know anything about this, so I'm not even going to touch this, because I don't know if a stadium actually stimulates the local economy or not. Like,
I think it doesn't, but I know it's like the Olympics for sure doesn't. I think there's been a lot of stuff on that.
The nuclear fallout of that.
Yeah, like everywhere in the last like decade that's hosted the Olympics, all those venues are just like decrepit, and they don't do anything with them. There's no plan. So that's really taking the building a stadium thing to the far extreme, and you're building several stadiums in a short period of time for a single use.
Right.
Boy, as a dumb person, I say, no, the rich people that are building the stadiums have money, so no, I don't use my money. Yeah, that's as deep as I can really go with it. I'm sure there's some good, some well written articles and well thought out articles on the subject, but go find them yourself.
Right. Yeah.
All you listeners out there.
Independent research is what we're about here.
Yes, definitely. I'm definitely the expert on other things.
Definitely the expert on telling you to go research things your fucking self.
Yeah. So, and just a fun fact here, you're talking about Paul Brown Stadium. I found on their Wikipedia page that the Paul Brown Stadium every spring hosts the annual Queen City Classic chess tournament.
Oh, damn.
So, yeah, they're out there playing chess while the Bengals were playing checkers.
I watched this hilarious video the other day here's a video of two chess grandmasters who don't know that they're both grandmasters, and they think that they're playing against like a noob. And they're told before the game, listen, this other person doesn't know that you're a grandmaster, so you have to try to trick them to make them think that you're really new to this game, and then you whip out your moves during the game. You hustle them. And so they put two people with both those skill sets against each other, and it was fucking hilarious to watch them go, oh, this one moves forward then, huh? They did that like 10 times in a row, and then I like into the fucking video. They keep doing it, but like you can see their faces like, oh shit, I can't lose to this fucking guy. I can't lose to this.
Wait, what is he doing? Why is he doing that? Yeah. Hold on a minute.
Right? Oh, so the knight moves two,
which one,
three.
Which one is the rook? Is that the horse or is that the castle?
Yeah, those are exactly the fucking questions that they were asking. It was like, this bruh. Like, it was really funny to watch them go back and forth. Like, you guys are both really awkward with this. Anyway, I guess this takes us to the next point here, and this is something that I was thinking about. I was thinking about this, I guess. I should tell you why I was thinking about this question.
Well, I was thinking about this question. I was contemplating this question that we'll reveal momentarily, but I'm wondering if it's for the same reason that you are.
Well, I've been watching a lot of these baseball videos.
John Boy.
Yeah, these John Boy ones, and they're hilarious and really funny and excellent analysis. But it then took me to a lot of other videos with umpires and stuff, and people like Angel Hernandez. I mean, just like YouTube videos where it's like compilations of umpires being really dumb. And I guess I don't watch a lot of baseball, so I didn't necessarily pay a whole lot of attention to the I think the last time I watched an entire fucking baseball game was, I mean, maybe last year with the Brewers.
Yeah, I watched one or two of those all the way through in the playoffs, yeah.
And yeah. So anyway, in watching these fucking games though, it was like, man, like the whole idea of the umpire being a person is an entire like separate factor in this game, like much more so than the NFL, or I mean, I'd say even more so than in NBA, but I'd say NBA is maybe a step above the NFL, where these personalities of these referees, like, it plays into the game, and it's an X factor that you kind of have to account for when you're almost like preparing for the game. And it's one of those things where it's like, if you tick this guy off, you might not get another chance, but certainly if you like break the ice with him in a bad way, like this sets the tone for the rest of the game, and you're kind of on thin ice with these things, and it affects like balls and strikes maybe, or maybe it affects how he calls like a play at a bag. But in any case, watching some of these videos where it's like a guy will do something and an umpire will just like get pissed off and throw a guy out of the game or throw a manager out of a game, and it's like, god damn, like this is so fucking silly. Like, this is so ridiculous to watch sometimes, to watch like a manager, like, it's like, all right, well, now the manager has to come out of the dugout and he's got to get kicked out. He's got to do his duty. He's got to get kicked out of the game too. It's like all these weird fucking things that happen in this weird ritualistic sequence, and it all stems from the fact that like they have to try to court this umpire in a certain way or argue with him in a certain way as it pertains to baseball tradition. And I don't know, it just like, man. So I guess the question that because I'm just kind of rambling now, the question that we were referencing in the beginning of this was, should umpires be replaced by computers?
Yeah, and I'm 100% for it. When you watch TV, they superimpose the strike zone on TV broadcasts now. So you can do it. Case in point, you can do well. Case in point, maybe that's not what the phrase I want to use. To put it in practice, the technology and with the ability to trace balls and exit velocity and measure all these things that they're doing nowadays. The ability to call balls and strikes is doable from a technological standpoint. Just the implementation of it would be maybe a little messy at first, but this is very timely you're bringing this up because going on right now as we speak on the 10th of July 2019, the Atlantic League, minor league, I think it's an independent minor league out somewhere, United States. Anyways, they're having their All-Star game tonight, and they are doing this very thing. They're having a robot umpire. They're having, the Independent League, this is from ESPN.com, the Independent Atlantic League became the first American professional baseball league to let a computer call balls and strikes Wednesday night at its All-Star game. Plate umpire Brian DeBrar. So the umpire is wearing an earpiece connected to an iPhone in his pocket and relayed the call upon receiving it from a TrackMan computer system using Doppler radar. So basically, the pitcher throws a pitch, this radar tracks the ball, and it will say it'll whisper into the umpire's ear, ball or strike. And then the umpire's job is to say, okay, ball, or okay, strike. So they're doing it.
Yeah,
they're doing it. They're putting it in practice. So I'm sure this is not going to be perfect on their first go around, but it's the first step. And this is the place to do it, an all-star game in the minor league, and then you slowly introduce it in the minor league, and then eventually it works it up to the major league after you work out all the bugs and shit, and then you get a more accurate product, more accurately called baseball game. So I'm all for it. You were really touching on something, really getting at something I think was kind of interesting to think about is that to a certain extent, football referees kind of have some personalities just because they have... Well, the head referee for each crew has a microphone, so they show him on camera by himself when he's making a call. So, and because football is football and is as popular as it is in the United States, some of those guys kind of take on a personality, but nowhere near to the extent that baseball does, where people, Angel Hernandez or Joe West, those two most notorious umpires, and thinking about it too, like, man. Watching some of those videos were with by our guy John Boy, where he's either reading lips or they got hot mics of these umpires and managers, players, going really laying into each other and arguing about balls or strikes or whatever. The baseball umpires are much more adversarial than football, basketball. I would think hockey. I don't know about hockey. I can't speak to hockey, but they'll bump chests with you and yell right the fuck back at you. Where football, the NFL for sure. Those guys take a lot of abuse from coaches, but they're usually pretty even keeled about it, and coaches just don't get thrown out of games in the NFL. Nobody gets really tossed unless you throw a punch, then you're gone. Or you do something. Well, I guess now you can get kicked out for too many unnecessary roughness penalties, whatever. But not nearly like in baseball. Now, it's a bit of a different animal just because the NFL, every game is so much more valuable just because there's only 16 of them as opposed to 162 for baseball. So whatever, you get tossed from 5 baseball games, who gives a shit? Take the rest of the afternoon off. But it is interesting, thinking about that, how umpires have a lot more personality than any of the other, football and basketball, really.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I understand that it's been a part of the game for a long time, having this system where, like you're saying, the umpires are allowed to have their own personality and they walk a certain way and conduct themselves with a certain attitude, and that's how it's been for a long time. But I don't know, man. Just like watching some of these videos, these breakdowns are hilarious. But like in terms of watching this as an actual sport, it's just kind of like this. This whole thing where John Boy makes fun of it, where it's like, all right, now they all got that bench is clear and they got to come out and They gotta pretend to scuffle here, and
And they know, okay, now the bullpen's
Yeah,
there.
right.
These guys got to
They
run
gotta
all the way out
run-
from the bullpen.
yeah, they gotta run all the way out from the outfield to go join this whole thing because that's what you have to fucking do. Pretend that you're defending your teammate's honor or whatever that is, and it's just, I don't know. It's this whole dog and pony show that I think if you even removed, at this point, I guess the argument that's to be made is there's already so much of it that can be reviewed by cameras or radar. For especially for calling balls and strikes. I mean, there's clearly already a system that's being implemented, like you said tonight. But I mean, even for calling safe or out at the bases, there's cameras that track that stuff with so much. There's, no doubt that a camera is going to be able to tell you with more certainty whether or not somebody was out, rather than just the human eye being able to tell you at a glance whether or not somebody was out.
Yeah, you could probably even, this is getting really crazy. If you go even above just cameras, you put a pressure transducer, a small pressure transducer in every one of the bases, and then I don't know, you put you put shit in the bases, put shit in the glove where you can you can accurately tell okay, well, this bro is coming into second base and he touches the bag at exactly time X, and then the ball is recorded as a catch at time Y, and then the tags applied there. You could say well, okay, very definitively, we have data that says, well, this guy beat the throw or didn't beat the throw, whatever.
Right.
Maybe that might be a little far-fetched, but you'd think that'd be possible.
You think it would be possible, especially because all that tracking stuff is definitely used in the NFL, right? With the ball.
Yeah, everybody's got either chips in the ball or chips in their pads somewhere, so they can track how far, how far a ball's in the air, or how far someone ran, or how fast someone ran.
Exactly. On the NFL, they fucking do that all the time, where it's who ran the fastest this week, and it's Damian.
It's Tyreek Hill again.
Yeah, right. Again, he ran at 30 miles an hour on this route. Amazing. He's so fast. And yeah, so it's already there. It's in it's not like this technology is far-fetched at all. It's already in existence and being used in professional sports. So, you'd have to tweak it to do certain things in baseball, but it's there in the ether.
Yeah, and to be fair, the NFL's not using any of that data to make rulings on in-game rulings on
right.
anything.
No, it's just
they
for fun.
could. I think they could if they, and it'll probably head that way eventually. My thought was always, man, why don't you put a chip in the ball, and then you have a laser or whatever going from pylon to pylon, so you know exactly when it's breaking the plane. But the issue with that is, well, where do you put the chip on the ball?
Oh, right.
If you put it on the nose, well, what if it's on the wrong nose? Or,
right.
Because the way the rule is written, it's just got the ball's got to break the plane. I don't know. There might be something to that, but eventually, I don't know. I'm too dumb to figure it out. But
yeah,
there's stuff like that you could definitely. People smarter than us can figure that out and implement it and get to that point. Do they use that? Is that how they in soccer? The very little bit of the Women's World Cup I watched. When they're making subs, a player would come out of the game and they'd say, okay, Alex Morgan played however many minutes and then ran 15 kilometers or whatever, something stupid far. How do they? Is that how they're tracing? They got a chip in their cleat or something that they're tracing how far they're moving.
No, and they have that even in practice. The teams use that.
About that.
Yeah, the teams use that to monitor what you do when you're even practicing in soccer.
Which is that's really smart.
Yeah,
so either you can tell if someone's dragging ass or if you're overworking somebody. That's
what even the football team here, the Badgers, I see this all the fucking time on the page. They have these they go around their chests and they look like little vests. Mm-hmm. And the team uses that to break down sports performance stuff with them, so they're able to track what they're doing during practice using these vests in order to calculate I mean, I don't know what they exactly calculate, but they use it for sports performance purposes and breaking it down. And I mean, that kind of information can be used for a myriad of things. Like nutritionists can use it in order to optimize diets for these athletes depending on what their workouts are doing. I mean, you can obviously take that to a strength and conditioning coach and like, this is how this guy's performing, doing these certain drills, oh, he's, dragging ass on these. Maybe he needs to work on this some more. Or I mean, just a coach in general, like this guy is doing these drills bad, so he needs to work on this more. So anyway, well, I love these pictures though, because there's always a fucking old guy who's like, "Why are my Badgers wearing sports bras in practice?"
Oh God, it's not what that is.
Shut the fuck up, man.
Jesus Christ.
Every time, man, I want to put it in the SpongeBob text. Comment it back.
I mean, see, this is good. That's good data collection in its own right. Just seeing those comments for you to craft your character on the pretend we're all boomers page.
I really enjoy how much you interact on that page.
I have taken quite a liking to that page.
I get several notifications a day when you comment on a thing in that page.
It's usually like the last thing I do before I go to sleep. I'll be like brushing my teeth and pull it up and be like, "Oh, what's going on here?" I saw Aaron. Ronnie the Bear was in there yesterday.
I did. I saw that too.
So I like them. Glad he's part of joining the party. My favorite post in there, and it's happened like 2 or 3 times I've seen it, is someone will post OOC out of character. Why does everybody misspell everything? Boomers are not illiterate. And then immediately, like, the post has been there for 5 minutes, and there's 5,000 comments already. and then it very quickly gets shut down, and either the post gets deleted or commenting's turned off.
Isabel was just complaining about this the other day. She was like, "Man, there's so many people that are posting out of character or like making complaints about things on this page, and it's ruining the page." And it was like, I don't know. People really flood these people immediately.
Yeah, it's like kind of self-policing. I really like going in on those. But well, it's just hilarious when you see something that's like posted 10 minutes ago and it's got 1,000 comments on it, and then you like the next like 10 posts all have like 5 comments on them.
Yeah.
Boy, just getting, I know the getting ratioed is like a Twitter thing, but man, it's a thing on this page.
Yeah, the bees swarming to the honey.
I have fun with that page, but just to reel this in here and get back to what we're talking about with refs and shit, and well, I guess when we were talking about wearable. Oh, that's what it was. I heard something where the NBA, there was a proposition or something, maybe someone proposed a rule or something where where NBA the players would. But they wanted their owners or teams, I don't remember who was proposing this, but wanted to be able to have players in games wearing like a Fitbit, some sort of wearable biotech thing, to track stuff in game, which would be cool. You're doing it at practice, you can do it in a game. It's all valuable data, data collection that's useful, especially during a long season like the NBA season is. And then I guess the NBA said no for some reason, and I don't understand why. But whatever.
Yeah, I think it's all of sports is. I mean, I don't know. This baseball thing sort of caught me by surprise, but I think sports are just a little bit away from doing this. But I mean, every year, man, it gets closer and closer because these for now we reconcile it because it's just a part of the game and we know no other way. It's just another human factor that has to be considered when you're playing a game, and people have sort of come to accept that. But as we move closer into the age of information, it just kind of like I don't know, it's not ridiculous to say, we should probably just fix this using technology. Like the NFL changed the rule with pass interference this very year because of what happened in the playoffs this past year regarding it, where cameras clearly captured that there was defensive pass interference in that Saints-Rams game. The refs got it wrong. And it, arguably, it's impossible to say whether or not it actually did alter the course of the game. I mean, it did alter the course of the game, but whether or not it affected the overall outcome is, that remains to be said, and it will never be said because it's impossible to say whether it did. But as more of those situations pop up in today's game, and more people come to realize that, well, I mean, we should just change the rules so that we can take a look at this using cameras.
Yeah, we should use. We have the tools. Why don't we use them?
Exactly. So, in order to prevent an entire fan base from being upset at something that, when they're sitting on their couch looking at the broadcast, this layman can say, "Yeah, that was that call was wrong." Like, if you can,
I rationally can look at this and say, yes, I do not agree.
Right. Like, that creates a lot of problems, I think, for professional sports leagues. So, yeah, I think that it, like you said earlier, it's trending that way. I'm not sure when it will actually, I'm sure something stupid is going to have to happen again for there to be more progress to be made in the realm of sports automation. But, we'll see.
Well, these leagues, they rake in a ton of money, and so especially baseball, because their demographic skews much older than especially the NBA and the NFL. So I mean, they can afford to be more reactionary, but it'll happen. It'll happen within our lifetimes for sure, easily. But I don't know. It's the sports and technology, that intersection is that gap's closing. It'll get there. It's kind of interesting to think about. Just the only thing, if you get rid of the umpires and replace them with robo-umps to call them balls and strikes, you eliminate the classic sports argument, the ethos of being a sports fan, which is, and this is something Big Cat said today, and pardon my take, half of sports is either winning or, hey, we didn't lose, my team got screwed by the refs. And if you eliminate getting screwed by the refs, what are you left with?
True.
Yeah, reality. Damn it.
Yes.
Reality is often disappointing.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it certainly takes off like pawning off a game or something. Or I was just talking to somebody about this. It was actually from our Ultimate game yesterday. So we ended in a draw because of time. And after the game, immediately I said, guys, we didn't lose. We just ran out of time.
There you go. Spot the lie.
I broke that one out.
Boy, if we had another 5 minutes, we would have gotten him.
Oh, man. Dude, I fucking mossed a guy in this Ultimate game yesterday. It was hilarious.
What do you mean you mossed him? Did you show your ass to him after you scored?
No. Ralphie threes tossed a fucking fade into the end zone, and I was tracking it down, and I had this guy on me who was just not really that athletic, and so I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I got this, and he got in front of me, but I just jumped over the top of his head and grabbed it and just,
oh shit,
yeah, dude, I smacked him right in the face with my elbow.
Oh,
he went down like a sack of potatoes, and I fucking Allen Iverson walked over him.
Did you say board man gets paid?
No, I didn't fucking say that. I should have.
Fuck it.
I have to. I've been meaning to do this in every single game. I just I don't know. So I'm playing with a bunch of kids that are, either recently graduated from the drumline or they're still on the drumline. So they're a little bit younger than I am. And a lot of them really like to play a lot of minutes. I don't. I like to play a select few minutes and be really fast and then jog off the sideline and sit on the ground for a while.
You're the energy guy. You change the pace guy off the bench.
Exactly. Yeah. I'll run a couple deep go routes and catch a couple of points and then do one of those, moss a guy for the second point and then sit out for 15 minutes. So anyway, I've been meaning to step up my trash talk game because there's this one game where I juked the shit out of this kid and broke his ankles. He fell over. I caught a point, and I was like, "Oh my god, broke your fucking ankles, child!" And I got a hey from the sideline from one of the parents that were sitting over there, and that was good. And since then, I've been meaning to do more of that.
Wait. Like a hey, calm the fuck down.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it was
check yourself, bro.
It was some fucking dad, because we were playing. I didn't realize this at the time, but we were playing high schoolers. I didn't realize this.
You
had no idea.
Talking to a high school kid.
I did. I broke his ankles. I was like, broke your fucking ankles, child, and said this to him. And then this hey,
watch it there. My dad could beat you up. My dad could beat up your dad.
Pretty much. And I shook it off at the time, but I felt bad after the game when I was like, oh my god, like I am an asshole. Like, but since then,
this is that guy at Colts camp that you said go fuck yourself to. That little like 15-year-old boy.
I know. Yeah, go Buckeyes. Go fuck yourself. This is like taking it 0 to 100 for no reason
on a child.
I know. Just like putting this kid in the fucking blender for no reason.
Man, okay. I kind of wanted to do that yesterday. So after work, there's a park near the office that has I was telling you about this, I think. They had a basketball hoop there, and it's nice because it's fenced in. So when I airball a shot, it bounces off the fence, and I don't have to go so far to get the ball. So anyways, I'm there. I'm by myself. I've only went in the park for like 5 minutes, and then all these cars just come. All these people just start coming out of the woodwork. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? I'm like, oh, it's a bunch of kids. They have a baseball game tonight.
Yeah.
On the baseball diamond. Okay, fine, whatever. I'll shoot here for a little bit. Then I'm gonna leave. But anyways, I was like shooting, and like the baseball field's not really. It's like over a little ways away, and I threw up a shot, threw up a three, missed it, but like hit the rim or something at least. It wasn't like a terrible miss, and then I swear to God, like 2 of the kids said brick, and I was like, okay, that was probably just a coincidence. They're probably not talking to me. And I get the ball back, I shoot another one, I miss it again, not a terrible miss, and I swear there was 3 or 4 more kids that were like said brick. I'm like, wait, all right, happened once, okay, it happened twice. What the fuck's going on here? Y'all a bunch of little baseball boys talking shit. So I'm like, all right, if this happens a third time, I don't know what I'm gonna do. So I shot a third one and was like, missed it again, and then nothing happened the rest of the time. I was like, okay, well that's good. I didn't have a plan, but something would have had to been done or said. Little baseball boy shit talking me on my broke ass jumper.
Yeah, right. Like, I don't know. I probably shouldn't yell at these kids, but I want to yell at these kids. Like, one of those moments where it's like, I should just be the adult here and take the high road because these are 10 years older
than all these kids, yeah.
But at the same time, I really just want to throw this fucking basketball at this kid, his skull, and
just fucking rip off my shirt. You want to fucking go? Try and fight him.
I'm gonna put a brick up your booty hole, child.
Well, it didn't happen again the rest of the time, so I was like, all right, well, maybe that was just a coincidence. Maybe I don't know. There's no way to know whether they were actually shit talking me or they just happened to be saying something that sounded like brick at the same time that I missed 2 shots in a row. Don't know. Also, there's a whole bunch of parents there, so I was like, what the hell am I gonna do?
Right, exactly. You get some parents screaming at you.
But after that, I started thinking a little bit, and I was like, okay, well, if it happens again, if I need to get into a verbal joust here, what am I gonna go with? I'm like, well, at least I'm playing a game that's fun, unlike baseball. It's good, something. It's not great, but it's relatively tame. I'm not gonna get yelled at too much for it. I gotta work on that. I gotta come up with something better because baseball's not fun.
You gotta just slant. You gotta bounce the ball really fucking hard on the ground.
Oh, actually, you know what you do?
Talk through your teeth.
Yeah, fucking throw the ball as fucking far as I can and just and just kind of have a moment, not at anybody or to anybody, but just just kind of let them know, hey, I'm unhinged in my rage, or what is it? What's the line from It's Always Sunny?
Untethered.
My rage is
rage
untethered, knows no bounds.
Yeah, you should carry a pocket knife on you and pop the basketball.
I should just have something I don't need, something brittle that I can eat, I can break.
Yeah. Did I tell you about what happened at disc toss?
Well, that's what I'm thinking of with Jim Jam and his glasses.
Yeah, just
fucking snapped him in half.
Just an act to. Oh my God! I have to tell you about this that happened. So he didn't do anything like that this game. He was pretty calm and cool, actually. But what happened? So he doesn't play with cleats, which is a mistake. You should play with cleats. And
Okay.
so he was chasing a guy down. We play man defense, and how this works is we kind of determine that the shorter, faster guys will generally cover the other shorter, faster guys.
I liked it.
Yeah, and the tall guys on our team who are a little bit rangier but are slow as shit will cover the other guys on the team that are also tall but probably slow. So it's how this works. It's how man defense works. And so anyway, he unfortunately drew coverage, or he didn't draw coverage, but he was covering a guy who was fast, but he was noticeably taller than him. And so it wasn't a great matchup. And what happened was he got a bomb from deep down the field, and he was trying to chase down this disc, and he didn't get it. The guy caught it, but he was like a step behind the guy. And so when he tried to halt to a stop, he was wearing regular shoes and just fucking slid right into this guy and just trucked him. And the whole other team was like, "What is going on? What are you doing?" It's like, man, just relax. He doesn't have cleats. He can't stop. He's
Fucking slipped.
Yeah, exactly. It was like, man, he clearly slid into him. He didn't fucking try to run him over. Like, he's also like 5'7", so like relax. He's not a big guy.
5'7", 140 pounds, soaking wet or something.
Yeah, he's not a big guy, so just calm down.
Oh boy, speaking of trucking people, did you see the what is it, Jonathan Lucroy get just fucking
Yeah, dude, that
wrecked?
was oh my! I pulled up I saw the video title. You watched the John Boy one.
Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah, of course. And so I saw the title and I was like, okay, well, this is gonna be another one of these, base runner collides with the catcher at home plate deals.
No, this is much more.
Holy man, that was NFL leaned, maybe unintentionally, like lowered the shoulder right into him and just. Oh.
I believe him when he was saying after the game that it wasn't intentional.
Yeah, no.
Justification he gave, I buy it. I buy the explanation.
Especially when you watch it back, when you watched it again, like when you watched it in slow motion and then you watch it again in real time, and it's like he's moving really fast. And he's a big guy. I don't know how you stop.
And the catcher, and he zigged when the catcher, when he thought this catcher was going to zag, but they both zigged, and his shoulder caught his nose.
Yeah.
Right fucking square.
It laid him out.
Yeah, that was pretty wild.
Oh.
But Jonathan Lucroy, forgot about him.
I know.
He played baseball.
Right.
But
he's on this Angels team that's just destroyed.
Yeah. Yeah, actually.
But anyway.
Thoughts and prayers.
Yeah, prayers up to Jonathan Lucroy. Anyway, what's this NFL supplemental draft?
Yeah, so speaking of football, we're talking about NFL hits. Saw this today. Do you know anything about the NFL supplemental draft?
I mean, a little bit. I know that only one person got drafted this year.
Yeah, well, that's really it. And it's really, I'm looking at this, and I don't fully understand how this works, but it seems like it's really silly because only one player was selected in the whole damn thing. Okay, it's the Cardinals, so it's like, okay, well, they probably picked him first, and then they were done, right? No, they picked the player in the 5th round. So for 4 rounds, they sat there and said, "Nah, I'm good. Pass, 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 pass." Which I guess I understand why they do that, because by picking them in the 5th round of this supplemental draft, they forfeit their 5th round pick next year. So 1 in, 1 out. So okay, that makes sense. So that's why everyone wants to play chicken. So there's one player. It's not that nobody wants them. It's just they don't want to part with a high pick
Right.
to get them. So it's a big game of fucking chicken.
For these players that have problems.
Yeah. What was this dude? What was this dude's issue? What's his name? Jalen Thompson, safety from Washington State. Well, I thought it was something where.
Was it DUIs?
No, I thought it was something benign, like Thompson's case stemmed from the purchase of an over-the-counter supplement that was not a steroid, so he must have tested positive for PEDs or a banned substance or something. I don't know. That seems relatively benign.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I understand that. I mean, there's players like Josh Gordon was taken in the supplemental draft, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's usually this draft is used to take players like that where in
So was
college.
Terrell Pryor, I think.
I think you're right. You're definitely right. Yeah, usually used to take these players where they run into problems in college, but usually demonstrate some sort of impressive athletic ability. I mean, not enough, I guess, to get them drafted in the regular draft, but enough to get them attention.
Yeah, here's some guys picked in supplemental drafts. So there's 2 players picked last year. I don't know these guys. So then there's nobody picked in the supplemental draft between 2016 and 2017. So there's one guy in 2015. Josh Gordon was the only pick in 2012. Wikipedia also gives a reason why they were in the supplemental draft. So Josh Gordon was dismissed from Baylor for failed marijuana test. Contrast that, in 2015, Isaiah Battle was a tackle from Clemson, had, quote, family matters to attend, end quote, as well as off-the-field issues. Also, the 2 guys selected in 2018 were both declared academically ineligible, so for some reason, one reason or another, they run into issues with they missed the regular draft, but then ran into either issues where their school didn't want them there anymore or ineligible, whatever. Some other notable names: Ahmad Brooks, pass rusher was with the Niners for a while in 2006.
Yep.
Mike Wall, 1998, tackle for the Packers for a long time.
Okay.
Tested positive for steroids. Was kicked out of the Naval Academy.
Whoopsies.
Also, Jamal Williams, not the running back,
but a different one.
No, yeah, the nose tackle, played for the Chargers for a while.
Okay.
Let's see. Anybody else? I don't know with these people. Oh, Chris Carter.
Really?
Hall of Famer.
That makes sense. That guy was fucking crazy.
1987. Carter was suspended before his senior season for signing with an agent. Well,
whoopsies.
that's pretty. That's pretty benign.
My dude.
Just said, "Fuck it, I'm hiring an agent, so whatever." Brian Bosworth, also a supplemental pick. Bosworth has been dismissed from the Oklahoma team following the 1986 season. Since he was a junior, he was eligible to be chosen in the 87 draft, but did not declare before the deadline and decided to wait for the supplemental draft.
Huh.
Don't really know what to make of that. But Bernie Kosar. Okay. Anybody else of note? No. That's it.
All right.
So,
that's the supplemental draft.
Not kind of an interesting footnote.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just thought it was funny that these teams are sitting around for 5 rounds just saying, not yet. Not today, Chief.
Yeah.
I don't want them that bad, so.
It's like saying check in like a game of poker, just going around. Check. Wait until the next card.
Or saying pass when you're playing euchre.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, second to last thing. Actually, I have one more thing after this. Did you watch this video for this link I sent you?
No.
You should watch it. It's a small man that's very angry and gets in a fight.
I'm pulling it up on my phone right now.
So it's a guy in a bagel shop, and he gets very mad.
Bad day at the bagel shop.
Yeah, he's very angry. And I don't know. At first I thought it was funny, and I still think it is funny, but also maybe not. I don't know.
I'm gonna say, oh, you're 5 feet on dating sites? You should be dead. That's okay?
Who said that to you here? Nobody.
Women in general have said it on dating sites. You think I'm making that shit up? Everywhere I go, I get the same fucking story. Shut your mouth. You're not God or my father or my boss. Dude, you want to step outside? You want to step outside? Huh?
This guy's like 5 foot nothing.
Yeah, this dude is so small.
Shut up, too. Just like a fuck up. Go ahead and attack me, Jacob.
Oh, this guy! Oh my god!
Yeah, this guy in the blue shirt just comes in and drops him like with no effort.
You want to go?
To be fair,
You want to go? Well, yeah.
come. Yeah, he's what he says. Come and fight me then. And then
And he
well,
does.
And he does. Asked and answered.
What are you gonna do? Stab me?
Guy, quote from man who just got stabbed.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I saw that video. I thought it was insane, and there you go. Content.
Oh my gosh, that. Ugh. Yeah, I don't even know what to say about that. Women on dating sites.
That's specific.
Yeah, like, oh my god, I don't know.
People in the people that replied to that tweet were, boy, that was oddly specific. That he said, you're not God, you're not my dad, you're not my boss.
Really singling out a lot of people here.
Well, that's 3. That's 3 specific people.
Man, I hate and like I enjoy watching videos like this a lot. It on one hand it's like, man, like this guy is like clearly like mentally unhinged, but like at the same time, yeah, it's kind of hilarious. And this one in particular is pretty funny because the guy just straight up decks him, and it's like, this is kind of what you want to have happen to a person like this, but it's almost poetic.
Yeah, and I watched it like a second, and I think I watched it 2 or 3 times, and after like the 3rd time, I was like, I feel bad for this guy.
Yeah, I mean,
I
so
kind of have like pity on him, and it's like,
yeah. And so I actually just today I watched a video. I've been playing this game called Apex Legends a lot, and
oh yeah,
dude. And I was watching a clip that some guy had of this kid who's a streamer for the game, and he does it like a lot. But his like his thing is that he's like he like is straight up like so angry at the game. Like that's his thing, is that he's like super pissed off all the time. And so I watched it for like a little bit, and it was pretty funny at first, and it was like, so it was a compilation that somebody put together because somebody, I think he got banned from the streaming website because he said something that just went over the line. And I'll send you a link while I'm talking about this. And so he got banned, and so I was watching it, and it was like, yeah, Jesus Christ, this dude gets so mad. He is so mad at this game. Like, I remember in high school, like, I used to get mad playing games, and like, I get it. Like, it's when you get really invested in something, like, I understand that sometimes you just want to say, like, fuck, man, fuck. But this guy, like, oh my God, he's like breaking keyboards. He's like slamming his desk. It's like he's smacking his like actual like computer. And it's like, this is unhealthy. And then I saw on his Twitter, so he got banned, and it was this like this super strange tweet to read, where it was like, oh my God, like I'm so sorry. Like this, like I can't believe this has happened, and I just want to stream again. Like I don't know what to do with my life now that I can't do this. And it was like, oh my God, like I don't think it's that funny to laugh at you being angry at this game anymore, because it's not like, it was kind of funny because in the back of my mind, I think I just pretended that he was like, this is an act. Like this is just a thing that you're doing in order to get people to watch you.
Wish it might have been, but
Right. No. And I think it's still part of it is like, he knows that people will watch him get super angry and break keyboards.
well, yeah, it's like the same as any time. What did I see the other day? I saw this video of a guy watching the last like 10 seconds of the NBA Finals, and it's like, and he got real pissed that the Warriors lost, and then he took the TV and threw it and broke it. And it's like, this is fake.
Yeah.
Because it's fake, because it's like, it was like, it wasn't the end of the game. It wasn't the last like Steph Curry shot that would have tied it or something. It was like after that, when Kawhi's shooting his free throws to go up 5 instead of already up 4, and he's like, well, the game's already over. Why are you mad now?
Right.
And plus, there was like a replay or a delay in there for like 5 minutes between then and that actual free throw attempt. So this seems fake, but it's still funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I felt better about myself after I watched this guy laugh the first time, and then after the third time, I was like, I have pity on you, that this is the way you are.
Yeah.
So I feel better about myself that I'm empathetic or whatever.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I'm not a completely awful person. So, well, on that downer of a thing, just to swing it back in the other direction, end on a high note. All right, so this has happened to me a couple times. So there's this like 80s and 90s radio station that I'll pop on every once in a while, and I'm driving around up in the Green Bay, the 920 up here, and every once in a while the Faith Hill song "I Hate Myself for Loving You" will come on, and boy, I like, no joke, I will get like shivers from like head to toe, just get like, ooh, real tingly when that song comes on. And then I'll try and sing all the old Sunday Night Football song lyrics instead of the real lyrics. Sunday Night Football on NBC, the Giants and the Eagles on primetime TV. Last one standing gets to turn out the lights. It's waiting all day for Sunday night. Whatever the actual words are to that, but like, man,
Yeah.
ooh, even just now, like, ooh. The hairs are standing up on my arms.
Just because of the song?
Just because of the song, man. The part of my TikToks about that, where they just like at the end of the season they finally got used to the new Carrie Underwood song,
Yeah.
and I was like, man. And I heard some other people talking about it the other day with this other radio thing that I've listened to, talking about the Hank Williams Jr. Monday Night Football song. All my rowdy friends are here on Monday night. Just like when you hear that song, like, are you ready for some football? It just, gets you going. It's the thing where it's like sensory. There's what's the word for it? Sensory association, where when you hear something, it's Pavlov's dog. That's what it is. Isn't the thing where like the dog hears the bell and then it knows it's
Yeah.
getting food or something?
Yeah.
It's
and
the
it
same
starts
thing.
salivating or whatever.
Yeah, that's it. Man, it's the same fucking thing with that song. When I hear that, it's like, oh, that means football's on. Man,
That's true.
I have this involuntary reaction to be like really excited.
That's whenever I hear, it's sort of similar in the same realm whenever I hear that U2 song.
Oh yeah, the
Streets
Yeah,
That
the
Have No
one.
Name.
yes, because that's the
The hype
just-
video.
I'm just man, I'm shivering thinking about that. Yes, that's the song that plays and with the hype video from the Badger football team, because it comes out of the tunnel. Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah. I mean that's the most specific one that I can think of, because there's really
Jock Jam. That's when the Packers come out. As they come out to
Yeah.
the Jellyfish Jam or whatever it is.
For a while it was Going Down for Real was the same thing, because they keep
Oh, because
playing
that's the opening kickoff
Yeah.
song.
Yeah, that one too.
That doesn't do it nearly as much to me. But
No, it's because that I heard that song before in stupid college party setting first.
yeah. Well, and to an even lesser extent, yeah, I guess that doesn't really. It's the same thing where I've heard this song before. Disturbed, Down with the Sickness.
Oh.
That was always the best at Packer games. When they stopped doing this a couple years ago, but they would, in all these songs that they played between plays, through this on the PA in the stadium, they would insert "Go Pack Go" into these songs. So it was the oh why go Pack Go.
Yeah,
And
man.
it was hilarious.
I'm pissed that they stopped doing that.
That shit was the best. But somebody, some person was self-aware enough there to be like, guys, this ain't it.
This is pretty dumb.
This is pretty fucking corny.
They still play the hits. They still play Saliva. They still play they still play I think that Disturbed song.
Oh, for sure. Or they play other ones. I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever. I think they stopped playing, or at least maybe not every game, but I thought they stopped playing like usually after the national anthem, they'll have the flyover. They used to always play Top Flight. Or
You
Top
mean
Gun.
Danger Zone?
Danger Zone. Holy shit. Yeah.
Top Flight.
Top Flight. That's a golf ball.
Yeah, no, I think I don't remember if they totally stopped doing that. I know that what
don't
you're
do it all
saying, they
now.
they don't do it all the time.
I guess there's not necessarily a flyover every game, though.
I don't know
Still.
for sure.
Still, after I hear "In the Home of the Brave," I want to hear "Highway." I want to hear Kenny Loggins singing at me.
I do too. It's what makes
'Cause-
those loud flyovers worth it.
Yeah, it's as if he's saying to the opposing team, "Oh, you're on the highway to the danger zone," against the famed the 13-time world champion Green Bay Packers on the frozen tundra. To let them know how it is.
Man, EAA felt empty without. That's what I wanted in the background the entire day when I played that gig last year.
Are you doing it again this year?
No, man, I don't. The Packers didn't want us back at EAA,
Oh, they didn't.
or the EAA didn't want us back. It want the Packers back at EAA.
I thought that was from what I heard. I didn't do it either, but I heard that was one of the better ones.
I enjoyed it. I did. I'd never been to EAA actually before that.
Yeah, I'd heard it's cool for our non-local listeners. The EAA, the Experimental Aircraft Adventure Show or something.
Yeah.
Bunch of fucking it's a bunch of airplanes. It's an airplane show in Oshkosh. But yeah, I've heard it's cool. I've never been to it either, but I've heard it's cool. I had a coworker that went to it last year and he says, "Oh yeah, it was pretty cool." So probably not going to go to it, but maybe
It's
I will.
pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Who knows?
But yeah. Anyway.
Did you go to one more thing. Did you go to Summerfest at all this year?
No, I kind of
Oh,
wish that
yeah,
I
me
did,
neither.
but I just didn't. I don't know. Part of the reason was Isabel was gone for the first half of it, still in the Philippines, and so she had never been to Summerfest and kind of wanted to go. But when she came back, all the artists, I looked at the artist lineup, and it was just kind of like, man, I just don't really want to stay in Milwaukee for any of these people.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that'd be one of those things, man. If I lived in Milwaukee, absolutely, I'd be down. But like Brandon does,
right,
His
dude
place-
literally
his
lives
sweet
on the
spot.
lakefront.
within walking distance, like that'd be sweet to go there
Yeah.
and just be like, I don't know where I'll go and whatever. Yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of out of the way now.
Right.
So-
Well, especially for you because you live several hours north.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I didn't
Plus,
go though.
like if I would go, it'd be like on a weekend, and weekends are like busier than weekdays, so it's like maybe not.
Kind of just got to make a weekend out of this.
Boy, if I don't get there at like noon, I'm gonna not get a bleacher spot for the show at 9:00 tonight,
Exactly.
and that's a lot of just sitting there. That like the bleachers like seem like a good idea, but they're not for like the big shows. because as soon as they come on, everybody stands on the bleachers, and if you're not on the bleachers, can't see a damn thing.
Right, exactly. That's the whole thing. Is if you're okay with standing on these bleachers for the whole show,
Or parking your ass there for the entire fucking day.
right?
But
Yeah. Anyway, no, I didn't go to that.
well, cool. That's music, baby.
Hell yeah. Anything else that you want to discuss?
Boy, I don't know. What do we got coming up here? We just had the All-Star game and Home Run Derby. So that's the thing. I didn't watch any of it.
I
Who
didn't
cares?
pay attention to any of that, so yeah, I don't know. I think something that we should talk about is your possible new venture. Do you want to talk about that?
What, am I mixing the medicine?
No, not that. The football one.
Oh, yes, that. Well, yeah, you mentioned this you brought this up a couple weeks ago. Maybe 2-3 weeks ago. I don't remember how this came up, but I've been kicking the tires on looking for just a second part-time job just for shits and giggles, but I think you've mentioned to me multiple times, PFF, Pro Football Focus, and they do a lot of cool stuff, cool analysis for NFL and college football plays, and really have great individual grades and break down film and do a lot of like in-depth analysis stuff. That's it's very interesting. But anyways, they hire part-time football analysts, and I don't know. I threw my name in the hat, and we'll see. Nothing's official yet, but I'm getting a trial at least, so I get to watch some game and enter some data and do some analysis, and we see how that goes. It's the training manual that they sent was pretty in depth. It's pretty robust. I should say that. That's probably the better way to put it. So basically, you just have to input data into this custom interface they created, and chart pretty much every play from a game. So I get a trial run at it next week, and then if that goes well, I think I get a second trial run, and then if that goes well, I get the job. So I don't know. We'll see. I was thinking about this. Like, I don't know. I'm like semi-ish qualified. I played a few years of ball back in the day. I watch football sometimes on the weekends in the fall. Sure. Also, I have no idea how many other people are also like in the running for this. So there's really no way to know
Right, exactly.
how qualified. I mean, they do say that you don't really need to be qualified at all as long as you know what like basic football stuff is. Yes, okay, well, you're minimally qualified then, and just let's see how you do at this trial run. So I'm really excited to do this trial run and just kind of go through the process of it and see how it is. And it looks like it's going to be a pain in the ass at first, because there's so much detail on every single play they're looking for. So time and location of the snap, and then the quarterback drop back. You got to chart where he threw the ball, chart where it was caught, chart where the first contact was, chart the tackle, and all the players that are doing all that. And then any turnovers, penalties, timeouts, all that has to be, in an XY coordinate, obviously not penalty, well, not timeouts, but like penalties and things, you have to mark where that occurred, and not just on the field, on a yard line, but also it's your X and Y coordinates you have to put on that. Turnovers, net yardage, was the defender blocked? There's a whole lot of detail in it that goes a lot. That it basically take a play-by-play. Like you go on ESPN and you do a game tracker, they do play-by-play stuff, and it's basically that, but we're taking it much deeper in detail. And the higher ups there will take that, and I assume do deeper analysis and make some jump to conclusions and do things and say players are good or bad based on what all happens there. So interesting, doing the legwork for the real analysts.
Yeah, I like you said, yeah, it's doing legwork for a data collection entity, and it's a lot of menial work, but I mean it's pretty cool. I have a lot of reverence for PFF. I respect the fact that they're, really spearheading this. Maybe not spearheading is the correct word, but they're one of the more prominent statistician / data collection, sports, and I don't really know what to call them, companies, entity, specifically with football. They have become much more integrated with the NFL. The NFL's recognized them, I should say, a lot more in the last couple of years. And even this past year, there was a ton of PFF stuff that would pop up during the game, and that was pretty cool to see.
NBC is really good about integrating that. Maybe not. I shouldn't say really good. I just know for sure they on the when they're doing their starting lineups, and you say Sam Beanham in Wisconsin. Their PFF ranking will pop up on there when they're doing the player intros.
Yeah.
I think you're right. They do some other broadcasts and NFL entities will do more with that. But I know for sure that was one example where I noticed in the last year or two really popping up.
Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah, I'm excited to see where this goes because we referenced PFF quite a bit when football season was going on. So it'd be kind of cool to have somebody that's working for the company.
Company man.
That's right, an inside guy.
So yeah, I'm curious to see what happens with this. I'm not overly optimistic that I'll get the job, but I'm not unoptimistic. I'm pretty neutral about it, I guess. I think if nothing else, and I think I've said this to you. I wanted to get the foot in the door and do this trial thing just to see how this all is, and hopefully maybe learn some things by actually watching football in a little more detail and with a little more depth and a little more of an eye for things and spending some more time with stuff other than just watching it on a broadcast and saying, "Yep, oh that's a first down," or "Oh, that was a catch," or whatever. It's actually sitting down and spending some time with some film. So we'll revisit this next week once I've had a chance to fire up get in the film room, get in the dark room, and spend some time with the tape.
Oof. What were you? Sam told me before, but I think he said it was something like an estimated 18 to 20 hours for your first game to break it down.
Yeah, they said they gave an approximate estimate. Obviously that's going to be a case-by-case thing, but I can understand why we're at first if you're not used to doing this and what you're looking for and how you're documenting these things, the workflow of going play-by-play through these things, how it could take some time to get used to, especially when they have a ton of stuff is just abbreviated or have acronyms. When you're selecting from drop-down menus, that's kind of annoying, and that's just something obviously you'll get used to it as you do it. But I think they gave out 18 hours at first, but they also followed that up by saying that's going to come down a lot once you really when you figure it out and get in the flow of it. So
right.
Starting next week, I have access to the film and their interface, their data collection interface. So got a week to do the first game, and then I think based on that, then you get a second game. I believe I get another week to do that one, so plenty of time to be able to get that done. But I don't know, it's kind of weird. I'm just thinking about this now, it's like I'm getting homework. Go to school all day, or in my case, go to work all day, and then come home. Well, I got homework. Gotta spend some time and collect some data for my science project.
Yeah, right, exactly. Got to do some data entry here real quick after I do data entry at my job.
Yeah.
Do data entry at my other job.
I don't do data entry.
Oh.
I did, well, not usually. I did some of that over the winter. I went through every single project in the last 3 years that we've done that had contractor bids and then tabulated all that in as much detail as possible into a single spreadsheet.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's some old-fashioned, good old data entry.
That's I was doing that for a while. I was like, man, this sucks. Especially because, well, it's not every project we've had in the last 3 years has bids, but I had to check every folder to see if they were in there, if there was any bids in there. So I was like, man, this is a lot of just clicking and saying, oh, nothing in there, no bids, no bids. Oh, this one has a bid. And then I get to one and it's like, oh, wait, this is in a different spot than all the other ones usually are.
Damn it.
Somebody organized this differently. So wait, I got to go back through and double check that it's not in that other spot. So I probably missed some, but whatever. Who cares?
That's how it goes.
It's a tool. It's more efficient for us to find contractor bids now when we're providing estimates to clients. So we have one place to look into instead of, I don't know, there was one on this project 5 years ago. Maybe those prices still might be relative, and this project really is in terms of scope is completely different. But hey, it's what we got. Now everybody has access to this one place where you can go into and find something specific to your project in terms of size, scope, location, quantity. That's the railroad, baby.
That's trains, baby.
Life on the high iron.
That's right. Working for the railroad man. That's what life's like.
Digging ditches, throwing switches, driving spikes,
Laying track.
running train,
Running train.
moving large quantities of goods from coast to coast.
That's right. Trucking those rocks around the country. Somebody's got to do it.
We're not trucking anything. Shut your damn mouth with a truck talk.
Yeah, sorry. I used that as a verb, but
Hauling. We're moving some tonnage.
we're moving some tonnage. Yeah.
We're an economic and efficient mode of moving large quantities of bulk materials long distances.
Yes. That's what I meant to say instead of trucking.
Yes.
All of that.
Yes. Do you know for every single rail car, that's approximately 4.5 trucks that are kept off America's highways?
Really?
I don't know.
You just make that up?
No, kinda. It's I don't know what the exact number is, but it's something like that.
Okay.
It's like a 4-to-1 ratio trucks to single per rail car.
Okay. It's still a lot.
It's quite a bit.
Okay. All right. I like
So
that.
there you go.
Well, in any case, all right. Let's wrap it up here.
Do you know what the most efficient mode of transportation in the world is
No.
for people?
What is it? Is it the train?
Bicycle. No, it's the bicycle.
Oh. You should have said the train.
Well, that'd be lying. No, it goes bicycle. I think then it's walking, then it's boat, train, car.
Why is
Plane.
the bicycle the most efficient?
Well, it has zero. You don't put gas in it. You don't put gas in it, and you're moving more efficiently than you are walking. You have a greater mechanical advantage. That makes sense, right? You can
Yeah.
bike a hell of a lot farther than you can walk or run with a similar amount of effort.
Yes.
Human. But then after that, a boat, I don't know, you fucking float. You put
Right.
gas in it, but it's relatively efficient. Then the train is similar, but a little less efficient. The car is less efficient. The plane is like the least efficient, but it's also the fastest. So
Right.
that's the balancing act.
It's the hierarchy.
It's speed versus fuel efficiency,
Got it.
and also how much shit you can carry.
Right.
On a bike, you can't carry much.
Right. That makes sense.
So there you go. Transportation talk with Sam.
Nice. Very
Next week
cool.
we're gonna look into the recently passed Wisconsin state budget and look at transportation funding and how that's gonna affect roads.
Hell yeah. Stay tuned.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to like, share, rate, subscribe, comment. Go to Teespring, get some hot threads, some merch. Donate on the Patreon for all the beautiful prizes that are behind the paywall. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. You know the drill.
We'll see you next week.